being a mama is intense. I probably don't have to tell you. But where do we show up on the priority list? My guess is last. So I'm here to tell you that you moms need to take care of yourself. And I don't mean like, the 10 minutes that you spend hiding from your kids in the bathroom or a closet. I mean that you have to self-care. You need to prioritize yourself. So today I have 10 self-care tips for busy moms. So take into consideration that I am a working mom, that we have a lot on our plate. So today we're going to talk about 10 self-care tips specifically for busy moms. Hi. I'm Margo Staten of BeGoodtoYourselfbyMargo.com and welcome back to my channel. So self-care, we've all heard it, right? We read blogs all the time, maybe we own journals and we listen to stuff on Instagram and Facebook and it's self-care, 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 self-care. Self-care is everywhere. Are you doing it? Are you prioritizing yourself? How much self-care do you do on a daily basis? A weekly basis? A monthly basis? Leave a comment down below. Let me know, do you self-care? And if you do, what is your favorite self-care practice? So 10 self-care tips, ladies, okay? Simple things to start doing today. Number 1, read a book. Reading a book, we kind of disconnect from everything else that's happening in our lives. If you don't enjoy reading a book, you can also listen to an audiobook, you read a Kindle, whatever it is, right? Spend 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes reading a book, reading something that you enjoy. It could be fiction, nonfiction, it could be personal development books, but kind of have that moment to cuddle up, maybe make a nice cup of tea or a cup of coffee and read a book. Number 2, while you read a book, enjoy a nice cup of coffee or tea. So one of my little small self-care practices is I will, go outside, go to Dunkin' Donuts, pick up a nice cup of coffee, a latte in my case, because that's what I enjoy, and take a walk in my neighborhood, right? That is my daily self-care practice. Again, I disconnect from being a working mom, from work, from mommyhood, right? And I just enjoy for a few minutes being outside, having a wonderful cup of coffee. Again, it's something super duper small and it serves many purposes, right? I mean, number 1, you're enjoying a cup of coffee, but also, this is something that can get you out of the house. If you, for whatever reason, don't want to leave the house or can't, or the weather is bad, or your kids are home, brew a nice cup of tea or a nice cup of coffee for yourself and kind of just relax, enjoy, and unwind. Number 3, take a walk to clear your mind. I think that it's a great form of exercise, but also it's something that you do for you. I remember when my daughter was an infant, I loved nothing more than to actually just put her in the stroller and then go outside for, a half an hour, 45 minutes. I think it was wonderful. And regardless of weather, I'd be out there when it was like snow and she's going over these like snow hurdles. But taking a walk outside is a wonderful self-care practice. If you can do it daily, maybe on your lunch break or whatnot, I think it's fantastic. If you can't, try to get outside as much as you can. Number 4, take care of your skin and your hair. Oftentimes, what we don't prioritize at all is a skincare routine and a hair routine. I'm not here to teach you how to take care of your skin. I think YouTube has a number of videos and really helpful tips on how to do that. That's how I learned. But having a skincare routine is fantastic. Look, the older we get, the more wrinkles we get, the more dehydrated our skin gets, which is why it's very important, by the way, to drink a lot of water and stay hydrated. But I feel like, in the morning and at night, we're so tired that, we just really don't prioritize in taking care of our skin as well as our hair. I will tell you this, I used to think that a skincare routine is going to take me like 3 hours a night, and who the hell has time for that? My skincare routine takes anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I use a toner, I use a serum, I use coconut oil, then I use under eye cream, and I use a moisturizer. Yeah, that sounds like a lot. It really does. But I promise you, it only takes a couple of minutes to do it. In the beginning, it was so funny. I would always get confused. Does serum go first? Does toner go first? Like, what is happening? So I actually wrote it down. Yeah. So in the beginning, it would obviously take me longer because there's also ways that you apply the toner versus how you apply the serum. And if you're overwhelmed, you're not alone. I had to watch a lot of videos and it took a lot of time for me to create an effective skincare routine that works for me. But your skin is going to be so grateful. So I really, really do encourage you, please, 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 as a wonderful self-care practice for you, take care of your skin and your hair. Number 5, journal. Journals work for so many different things. I think that the best thing that a journal has done for me is to really improve my mindset. I've become a much more positive person through gratitude journaling. I have become a much more organized person through my goal setting journal. I actually published 2 journals, this goal setting and this gratitude journal. I'll leave links down below. And it has completely transformed my life. I think even just the sheer notion of writing down your thoughts, you know, maybe you had a really, really bad day, or maybe you're upset with one of your kids or your partners, or something terrible happened at work. Yeah, we might take the opportunity to talk to a friend or a family member and vent, but I think that just kind of having a daily practice of writing down your thoughts on paper, it gives a lot of insight into even certain things. Like, you realize that certain things shouldn't be bothering you as much as they do. So just the perspective shift when you journal and when you're able to go back and review it, it feels good in the moment to write things down, but it also gives you a lot of insight into maybe certain changes that you can make in your life to, be a much better and happier person. So journaling, and by journaling, I don't mean sit down with like a journal for 3 hours. Like, who has time for that as a working mom? Like, we don't have 3 hours for anything. But just even 5 minutes a day goes a long way and is a wonderful self-care tip for us busy moms. Number 6, reward yourself and celebrate your accomplishments. I will be the first to admit I often forget to celebrate my small accomplishments, and I kind of just move on to the next thing. It is a horrible habit. Like, I have self-awareness at this point, but this is something that I'm still working with. I feel like as working moms, we accomplish a lot and we celebrate almost none of it. Like, we might celebrate something monumental, like we bought a house. Like, that's great, but you're not buying a house every single day. Like, congratulations, but that's something that you celebrate once in a blue moon. Wonderful accomplishment, by all means celebrate. But as working moms, there are so many other things and so many things that you accomplish on a daily basis. Like, do you celebrate those wins? Or like even just like a small high five to your kids, like, yay, I did it. You know what I mean? Things along that nature. Again, it prioritizes you. It's a wonderful caring for yourself and showing yourself self-love. I feel like as working moms, one of the biggest things that we need to work on is self-love. We love everybody else and their mother, but I feel like we don't love ourselves as much, and we should, because we do a lot and we kick butt at doing it, and we need to celebrate our own accomplishments. It doesn't matter if they're big or small. And by small accomplishments, like an example could be maybe you decided to, make a meal you've never made before and it came out banging. You ever have that where you're like, as you're cooking it, you're like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is probably going to taste like garbage. And then you make it and you're like, oh my God, this is actually pretty damn good. Right? Give yourself a pat on the back. You rocked that meal. Your family benefited from that meal. It is exciting, okay? Celebrate that win. And chances are, if you're like me, when you try to make it the second time, it doesn't come out as good. But that's neither here nor there. Celebrate in that moment your wonderful accomplishment. Number 7, take a bath or take a long shower. And what I mean by that, and if you're like me and you don't like taking baths, then don't take a bath. But I find that taking baths or taking a very long shower and putting on your favorite music is a wonderful daily self-care practice. If you can't do it daily, do it as often as you can. You feel refreshed. I don't know about you ladies, and let me know, does a hot shower and a nice soak in a tub help you feel better? Leave a comment down below. But for me, I almost feel like I'm reborn. right? I almost feel like kind of a restart button has been activated. And at the end of a long, stressful day, if I take a nice hot shower, and I don't mean like 2 seconds, you jump in, you just do the necessities and jump out. I mean like you lather your hair, you do your thing, maybe you do a nice little body scrub, shave your legs, exfoliate. I mean like you know what I'm talking about when I say like a nice shower or bath. But you really take the time to kind of pamper yourself. You feel so much better. You really do, and again, it's not anything that costs a lot of money, and it's not something that you're doing for an hour, but it's a fantastic self-care practice to recharge your batteries and feel alive again. Number 8, go on a drive. If you are a driver. If you're not, please don't. But I'm a driver. I love to drive, and I find that, obviously when I have my daughter in the car, my family in the car, I'm kind of doing, I go slower and I'm kind of more cautious because I have like, my prized merchandise in the car. Like I want to make sure safety first. But then there are those times where, again, especially if I'm like super duper stressed or whatnot, I will get in my car. I will blast my favorite music. I will roll down my windows, assuming it's not winter and hailing outside. I will roll down my windows and I just get on the highway and I drive. It feels so good. I might also take a cup of coffee with me or a bottle of water. I sometimes have a direction. Sometimes I don't. I obviously don't go too far. This is not like a 3-hour driving extravaganza. But sometimes I'll drive to a nearby park or whatnot. But for me, getting in my car, driving, being alone, is very, very relaxing. And I think that, again, it's a great self-care practice that I do on a weekly basis. Number 9, take yourself out for brunch or to have your favorite meal. Ladies, how often do you take yourselves out to lunch or brunch or dinner? Yeah, if you're like me, not often. How good does it feel if you just decide on a Saturday, maybe your kids are with grandma, or maybe you're divorced and it's your ex-husband's weekend, like in my case. I will just randomly decide that I love sushi. I will just go and have a nice meal. I'll go take myself out for sushi. If my friends are around, I might go out with a girlfriend, or sometimes I'll go have lunch with my mom. But you know what? Even if no one's available, I will go out by myself. I will take my favorite book. I will go out by myself and I will enjoy a nice meal. And it feels fantastic. By the way, when you first start doing this, and again, I don't mean to say I do this on a weekly basis, by the way, okay? I do it sporadically, but the first time you do this, you're going to feel, well, you might feel 2 things. You might feel weird because you're by yourself and you think everyone's staring at you. They're not. But you might also feel guilt. Because there's probably things inside the home that you need to do. And here you are instead out to lunch, enjoying yourself, maybe having a glass of plum wine and some sushi and reading a book. Screw the guilt. Forget the guilt, okay? Get rid of the mommy guilt and the wife guilt and whatever crap you need to do around the house. You matter. You're important. Girl, take yourself out to lunch. And finally, number 10, listen to your favorite music. Listening to our favorite music really recharges us. It energizes us. Actually, right before I start, recording YouTube videos, I need to get myself in the mood, right? So I have to get kind of pumped up and energized. So I put on my favorite 80s classic rock station. Listening to music, again, is not something that inconveniences you. In my home, I have Alexa. I've spent years investing in perfecting my Pandora account. So I have radio stations that play, throughout the entire day. I wake up to music. I have music on in my house all day long. I change the music depending on what vibe I'm going for. Sometimes I'm in the mood for salsa. Sometimes, I wake up to jazz. Again, put on your favorite music. It's just on in the background. Oftentimes you don't even realize that it's on, but it puts you in such a wonderful headspace. And I think it's a very simple self-care practice for a busy mom because it doesn't actually distract you from anything you need to do. So those are my 10 self-care tips for busy mamas. I find that every single thing on this list helps you recharge those mama batteries. So please, please, please remember to self-love. Please, please, please remember that you mamas matter, okay? So thank you so much for watching. Always remember to be good to yourselves.